All right, Grings, join us. All right, it's a little bit late. Okay, it's a lot late. Yeah, because I have to get up early in the morning. I'm loving it. Yeah, it just gets better and better, doesn't it? So this is UFO disclosure. Lyran Felines, go into some of that energy. We also have the wizard timelines, go into some of that, just whatever it comes through on that. And insectoids, I'll talk, every once in a while I'll bring them up. Some of them, yeah, they have their moments. Yeah, I mean, some are parasite beings that are here and they're just feeding off of other people's energies and information. So they don't always like to expose themselves. So just, I don't know, they can be kind of arrogant too. So, of course, they have good features to it. But sometimes they have the bug eyes. You can kind of see it in a person's energy field if they're a bug person. But I'm not going to go too deep into that one. You can just tell sometimes. It's not always easy to tell, but you can sometimes tell. This whole thing is very sophisticated how this is all kept away from us. But the felines, one aspect of course, is the canine energies. If I can remember it tomorrow, I'm going to go into some of that. But the felines, um, you can say also the griffins. The griffin's like a half bird, half feline being, and so on. Some people might feel connections to them, but one way of seeing like what we're going through is through not everybody's a cat person. That matters, or not everybody's a dog person. Because if you're not a cat person, you probably had difficulties with the cat people. If you don't like the dogs, you had a problem with the dog people, and so on. Because that's one way of looking at it. But also the felines, they go through. They have a lot of these characteristics. Of course, as a humanoid being. But some of them can have a lot of difficulties too. They're kind of independent beings. They have their thing going on, but we have a lot of their characteristics. Of course, you have characteristics of a canine also. Like some people that are very friendly to people and all of that. A lot of that's a canine energy, depending. Of course, some can be horrible too. But then you have the felines that can be independent. Um, and not always connecting to people. They have her, but some people feel like you're being shy and all that, which isn't true. Really, just you don't want to be part of the energies of other people. Some people would say, "Yeah, you're being shy and all that." It's like a naive way of looking at it. It really has to do about the energies, and you go by who you're comfortable with. But of course, our primitive ways aren't really seeing it that way. But that's really what it comes down to. You just you have to be careful here around too. Especially when you're opening yourself up and you're advancing yourself, you just gotta be careful. And obviously, your average person is going to look at it that way. So we still have a long ways to go. Obviously, we've got a long ways to go. Another thing is first, I mean, I didn't put this in the title. Yeah, about soul sucking energies, soul sucking beings, gods that are soul sucking, god beings that, I mean, that'd make a good title. Just not to put fear out there, but god-like beings that, like they lose like their purpose, so they suck on the energies of other people, which what we're experiencing here, of just God, powerful beings that, interesting. That was interesting. Yeah. Yeah, no surprise there. That video just got shut off. Um, yeah. Maybe I hit a spot somewhere. But yeah, you have like godlike beings that, and I'm doing a channeled writing on this, that kind of lose their purpose. So they grab the energies of other beings, like in the spirit world, and kind of create these realities like this world, and give us some kind of purpose or no purpose. Like we're given this godlike being a purpose, and even if our lives feel like purposeless, and we're here. Some people feel like they've been stuck here, but you'd be surprised if you're asking the question and you want to know more about that. Most likely, you're breaking that lost timeline. So you're becoming more found, you can say. So you're not stuck here anymore. I believe many are doing that. Now, obviously, this world has a lot of work to do on it, obviously. It's kind of like almost like a lost cause. Where do we get that from? But a lot of souls that exit here then come back. Not because you're stuck here, it's because you're here to fight the war. This is where the battle is. Not that you have to focus on that, focus on this lifetime, but you'd be surprised how many do come back. Not because you're being sucked back in here or you're trapped. It just feels like, the idea is to resurrect this planet. Even if it's like a little bit, it's still something. It's like you're in the spirit world getting everything you want in life. You're just, we'll get in the mirror every day, say, wow, I look good. And you look at this world, it's all in pain, going through hell. It's like, I can't just sit there and watch it. It's like, it's how long, but yeah, is this world getting anywhere? It is, just very slowly. Extremely slowly. But the idea is for darkness and light to, where darkness can't hide itself anymore. That's another thing what we're heading into. Basically, these demonic energies. So what people want to bring in their light, which is fine, but they want to cast out the dark. But instead of like understanding the dark, because the dark will just say "f you" and destroy you and come after you. But it's like, can't we all get along? Because that's how it is in the spirit world, and that's how it's supposed to be here. So the shadow beings can't be in their shadow anymore. So you see demonic energies more in the front, but you're not afraid of it. That's the end. Yeah, we got ways for that. Like look at the government. I mean, governments not just in the U.S., in the U.K., all that corruption. The idea is for the corruption to come into light, but it's still going to have issues. But at least you see it on the surface. They can't hide themselves anymore. That's what we're working towards. That's easier said than done. Some feel that you just be here and it all fixes itself. And something like that. They're trying to drive us all crazy. The dark energies are trying to, because they don't want to be seen here. And that's the test. They want to show how they're more powerful than us and so on. Yada, yada, yada. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. Yeah, they play pretty. They hit below the belt all the time. That's how it works, though. But it's basically for the light to become less naive and more advanced, stronger, more mature. Yeah, they feel like just shining their light, that's going to do everything. It does some things, but then it doesn't do everything. It's how you use it. Let's put it that way. That's what we're here to figure out. I don't know if there's anything else. Okay, so I'm talking comment private sessions. We have the schedule. We have a shop here. I forget where I'm at. I'm somewhere. We have a webinar Saturdays. Some social network. And we have a Telegram, Rumble. Just in case. It should be okay for now. So, should be knock on wood. So far, so good. So, just stay out of certain subject matters. Should be all right. With the feline energies, obviously you can go further into that, but there's just a lot of characteristics that's connected to us. Like I said, there's a lot of canines, there's some insectoid. It all depends on the person, but many, look at some feline worlds are just going through what we're going through. There's also some canine worlds are going through this, and also insectoid worlds are going through this too. They just lost their light. They're being challenged by the dark. And the feline worlds, I feel like they're still going through there. So not all feline worlds are going through certain ones. Like obviously, not all human worlds are going through this. There's a lot, plenty of human worlds that are not going through this. But they also know that they need to go through something like this too. They need to shut off from the spirit realm and figure themselves out. So it's like a merry-go-round of nowhereness, but it has a lot of properties of growth. That's why the world hasn't fully healed, because you can get a lot out of this place. As many people, yeah, that's why I feel. Some feel like the light's going to come in automatically and fix everything, but it does have a lot of properties of warning about ourselves and all that. Even if you don't feel like they're warning, that's tough. You're warning if you don't feel like you're learning. You're still doing it anyway. You're not always supposed to show it. So, and some are actually building a lot of maturity within themselves. I didn't realize it. And they might not like that, but it's true. All right. I don't know if I spelled the Lyran right or not. I don't know. It doesn't matter. All right. Okay. To the Lyrans and alien disclosure, go into some of their experiences, what needs to come through. The wizard energies, wizard timelines, wizard whatever they have to say. And Insectoid beings basically give their perspective of their experience here. I tell you, especially if you're like in school, like if you're like a high school or maybe college, you have so many people around, you can see the bug people and whatever else that's there. Some bug people can be scientific people too. Look like bug eyes, like their eyes are about to pop out of their head. Some are like that. Some of those are mantis people. So, yeah, some insectoid people are similar to like the Zetas to a certain level. They can access artificial intelligence and things like that. So, okay, all right, we're going to felines and alien disclosure. Like I said, it's going into more of their frequencies, basically. See what they have to say on all that. All right, blessings. Greece, we are the felines. Blessings. We are from Lyra. Of course, you can believe whatever you want to believe. We're not here to prove anything to anyone. Some of you, yes, are advancing into a level where you can tap into our frequencies or the feline realities, and even feel some of the pain of what some of the felines are going through, of not always trusting themselves, each other. You see that on your world already. There's feline cat beings that don't always get along with each other. The lion is usually the lion races are normally the leadership positions, and your tigers are normally your warrior race. And the tigers do get angry at the lions all the time because they feel like they're weak. They feel like the lion people are. So the lions are not all lion races are like this, but a lot of them are royalty races. Not all of them, but quite a few of them are. Not that it matters here on your world, but the royalty energy, they just doesn't mean they're always making the right decision, but just they're in charge and they make whatever decision they want to make. And it's for your world to uncover it, unravel itself. A lot of feline beings are fighting among each other, similar to your world. Well, they feel like some are better than each other, similar to your planet. And they do go. There are fairy realms, but it's just the feline beings. They're just humanoid feline energies. It's basically you take what you have as a human and just add a feline feature to it. And there's just millions of worlds that are like this. Obviously, not always going to show themselves. But basically, you have a difficulty of connecting to each other. They're similar to your world. They either like each other or they just hate each other. Canine worlds are normally friendly to each other for the most part. Even if they don't get along, they still find a way to make it work. Feline worlds are known to fight among each other, as you can see. You call it a cat fight. Some cats just don't get along. Some do, but a lot of them don't. So you're experiencing that here, the conflict of the cat. So some of you have noticed like cats can be finicky. They can Usually, canine dogs, if they haven't been through abuse, of course, cats have been through abuse too, but even some canines, even those canines that have been through abuse, they usually find a way to heal quicker, but cats can take forever or never heal. Of course, some canines can do the same also. But as a feline race, you're feeling those energies here within your own selves. You might even see a feline side of yourself to appear if it's necessary. It's like you connect to all these different DNA of the universe. There is universal. Not all. We don't always, as alien energies, we don't even know what DNA we have. We never connect to all these different races, but for here in this world, you're basically to unlock yourselves, unlock from your mystery, to heal each other, to just get along with each other. Doesn't mean you have to agree upon everything, but always have at least more of a balance between each other, which is not happening right now. There's always someone trying to divide you. But as you evolve, you'll see who is dividing you. You're seeing it now, but still from a third dimensional perspective. There are actually some Andromedan beings that are causing difficulties here. Some Andromedans don't want you to grow, but they're also testing you too to see if they can trust you. There are alien beings where humans feel like they're getting somewhere. It's like, well, we'll test them to see if these can be benevolent beings, these can be positive beings, but they test you to see where you're at, see where else you need to work on. So, and they can help you get to where you need to, work wise, people wise, wherever it might be. So, I realize some of you are working jobs you don't care for, and some of you are becoming more multidimensional, and that's the test also. I know it's how you manage it, how you handle it, but I realize these third dimensional jobs become less significant to many of you. And you become more fourth dimensional jobs. And of course, how do you do that? It's basically on a spiritual vibration. That will just show itself when it needs to. But basically, you're going to a level of reality where you just use your mind for everything. You don't necessarily have to use your hands to do anything. You just use your psychic abilities, your telekinesis abilities, and just make things happen. They become less hungry, less needing for food or no food at all. That will come in time. There's still a lot of stress many of you are going through still. But some of you have been through, the muck of this reality, and you're still not done, as you can see. There's just a lot of beings here that have lost themselves. There are a lot of lost souls connected to this earth that are here to release. You might not see it physically, but astrally you're doing so. And some of you are truly going to the core of it. You might not always, some of you feel like you're going crazy, most likely you're going into the core of how this world is trapped. You're here to unlock it. And eventually your intuition will tell you. Sometimes you shut down your intuition just for your own protection, as some of you know. Blessings. Greetings to you. This is Merlin. Blessings to your world, to your time traveling selves. Some of you are crystal beings. You literally are, if you hold a crystal in your hands, like, well, that's me. I'm holding myself right now. Some of you are volcano beings, and you can see that pretty well, can't you? Some just want to explode all the time. I'd be surprised how many bird people that are here are always into other people's business. Well, some bird people are, they just can't seem to get their act together. They're like socialites. But there are, an archon energy that's here that's going on, of course. But they're having a blast. The dark energies that are controlling your planet, this is their barbecue, humanity. They're barbecuing humanity's energy, and they're spicing you up. They're putting recipes in there, and you're the main course. Of course, you're unlocking that. You're not becoming tasty for them. Your energy can't be leached on anymore. Obviously, they don't like that. Obviously, they're leeching on the society of others, especially when you see all this drama going on, at least in the media, and that's the meal ticket That's how they're keeping your world shut down. Any type of drama. You let go of the drama, you release it, you free yourself, you see the world more clearly. That will come over time. Basically, the beings that are causing difficulties here, most likely you'll start to see them more clearly. There might be a giant being. There might be maybe a giant being of 8 feet, 9 feet tall. As for wizard beings that are here, there are some elitist beings that are incarnated that have the DNA to shift their timeline, shift their realities. But it all has a purpose, though. Some of you have wizard abilities. Everybody has a wizard ability. They're not always here to unlock it. And that's very frustrating for some of you because you're ready to like multi-dimensional self off this planet. But, realize, even if you can't access your abilities, but you dream about it, you think about it, you know it's there, it does shift the energy around you. I mean, it doesn't mean you're going to fully activate it here if it's even, if you start flying, it'll probably cause a lot of difficulties, but there are different ways of flight, basically, for travel. You could travel in a car, but like you can get in a car or any vehicle and it feels like it's flying. It might be hovering. I mean, it might be moving, but you'd be surprised you can fly through traffic, you can say. Maybe not fly as you would see, but there's different ways of looking at it. Some of you are teleporter beings too, where you get to places faster than you thought. You don't always notice it. So there are abilities here that you do access. It's just not in the way that you think you would. So, but as a wizard frequency, well, wizards are usually similar to like a Luciferian energy. We just, we accept everything, light and dark, all of it. We are all things. You are all everything. So you don't care if it's light and dark. So it's darkness. We just basically have a balance. Let's put it that way. Like, sometimes when you go into your own darkness, it's like, okay, maybe I'm being too dark here. Where others aren't aware of how dark they're being. And some that are losing, we have to be careful how we word this, but some that are being possessed and causing violent acts. There's only some of you do work there to actually keep that from happening, but some things need to be, some such events have to occur the way it's like if you get involved, it ends up taking you down. So it's like you choose, obviously many of you want to bring your light to the world, but some events need to occur, such as war, something you just can't mess with. Yeah, it's aliens. Like, why aren't you fixing this? Well, we can, but we'll wipe ourselves out at the same time. It's just certain, not that you're trying to choose your battles, it's just that you just know when you're over your head. So this is why the world does what it needs to do. You might not like the way it is, but when does anyone in authority ever make the right decision? But those in authority of your reality, they're doing what they feel is right. They feel it's best for the collective. Obviously, so a lot of you disagree with that, but you just go with it or get wiped out. You shorten your incarnation, you start messing with the timeline. Realize when you go with the timeline, obviously you might not like how things are. You do what you can to improve yourself, others, realities, whatever it is. But the more you go with it, it's better for you and for others. Yeah, next thing you know, you have a black eye from somewhere, from space. Wake up from astral feeling all beat up. Well, some of you are trying to interfere with the main timeline. But at least they're not taking you out of this reality altogether. You're not fighting an astral. Next thing you find out, it's like you're an astral permanently. Some do end up like that. So some of you are fighting astral, the main timeline. And, it's like the main timeline is like, yeah, we'll put up with you. It's all right. You're fighting us and all that. But they're going to do what they're going to do. In the long run, it just has its purpose. It really has its sole purpose. And some of you know that it's a difficult one to tap into. Now, is darkness going to show itself here? It can, if you want it to. Well, you make peace with it. Make peace with yourself. You might not exactly like the darkness that's here. There are many gods here that are extremely selfish. And some of you have been battling them. You know they're messing with your reality. There's not just one God, there's several. So I know making life more complicated for all of you. We don't have to focus on it if you don't want to, but some of you is like, there's a God here that's not good. There are many good gods here, yes. But even they have to step back. They can't mess with this place. The human collective is the humans. Yeah, the human collective can get tricked into having a certain timeline, which is happening now. You're here to unravel that to make things easier for yourselves. It's like you might not like the direction your world's going in. We are here to eventually go in the right direction. There are some, you get some winnings, you just don't always aware of it. Yeah, you do get some wins, but there's still a lot more wins that you're looking for. Meaning things could be a lot worse, of course. So that you are winning, it's just not showing itself. It's not putting itself on billboards and all that. But you're still here, aren't you? Grease you. We are the Insectoid energies. We are the Butterfly Collective. Some of you are connected to, yes, attractiveness, looks. You want to bring out a higher frequency. You can say for the eyes, for this the outer vibrations, but some are still working within themselves. Like, yeah, I can work on the outside of myself and make myself look like a masterpiece, but within myself, I have a long ways to go. It's like making a cake. It's like the cake looks nice, but it's unhealthy. So that's what many of you have accomplished. That you can make yourself, your outer self, look extremely attractive. Not everybody, but some of you, or maybe all of you have. Either way, those of you that have made yourselves attractive, you still know there's a lot. It's like I say, you spend a lot of time lifetimes of just working on outer beauty. Now the inner beauty is the hardest, and sometimes the outer beauty is just easier. The inner beauty obviously takes longer. And it's like you might as well look good if everything's going to fall apart. If everything's going to be a travesty in my life, I might as well look good through the whole, accident of my existence. Insectoid beings that are here are, yes, they're part of the genesis of your reality. You can't live without a world without some kind of insectoid being. You can live without a reptilian being. But insectoid beings are usually, because it's the knowledge you bring from the universe. Now, you can say you don't need insectoid energy, which is fine. But some of you are, it's like insectoid beings are kind of like the internet of reality. Now, that doesn't mean you have to have that part of your reality. Obviously, some of you find bugs in your home and want to wipe them out. That's quite fine. Some of them are agents of destruction. Yes, don't tolerate a bug if you don't need to. Well, they can become intruders. Of course, they're little intruders, but still, you still have your privacy. It's still very important. Please utilize it as best of your ability. There are beings yes, insectoid beings. Think about an insectoid as a being that can be easily programmed, similar to a human. And when you program a bug, now some insectoid beings like hornets, some of them can have a family, and yes, they just even the bee people. They can, they mind themselves. They might attack others, but they're not really trying to attack. They're just protecting themselves overall. And some of you are living those lives here too. But insectoid beings, for some of you, you just can't live without us. We're just everywhere. There's a fascination with our species. We've been around forever. Realize we're bugs, so bugs. We find our ways somewhere. We're similar to like artificial intelligence. We seem to end up in places we probably shouldn't be. But our collective can download, even if we die, our collective still receives our information. So we're basically an Akashic energy that people just can't live without. We can't bring in conflict. We can't bring in disease, but you're here to heal all of that, as you can see. So yeah, as insectoid beings, you'll have a better. Some of you obviously protect your energy, so you don't have insectoid beings cause you difficulties. There's other beings that find a way to get in your field. We're not going to go into details of that. But bug people can be, yes, kind of tricksters in their own right. They can act like they know everything when they know nothing. Some of them can get through college, get through all college courses, get through everything, and still know nothing. But they're good at absorbing information. They're similar to like artificial intelligence. Some of them are, not all. Some, like a butterfly being, is just beautiful, has some knowledge, but not out to cause any difficulties. But if you have a beetle, sometimes they are. Some of them are warrior type of insectoid beings, and humans have those energies too. Basically, they have some humans that here are just they go to war and they're like nonstop. They're unstoppable. Well, it has a drive connected to it. Like if you're lost, you become a bug. They'll give you some purpose. You might be under a controlled hive mind system, but eventually you'll have some purpose at least. Then you can break away from it. You have that here, of course, in human society where humans are being programmed similar to like a bug race. And you're here to erase that, heal that. And some of you can see that. It has its own reality, has its own matrix that we'll just call it a matrix. It's either every alien species, a feline, Palladian, Syrian, they all have their own realities here. That's why you're multi-dimensional. And so you have a bug race that does try to program your society. So it's like you're clearing out the cobwebs of your reality. And then eventually you'll start seeing beings here and there. Some of you have an impression of that. So you're wondering like what's your purpose here? A lot of it's just to open up your abilities. That's to see bug beings walking around, going to work. Elephant beings that are just loving their attention of their some elephant beings here. They're human, but they have a lot of glamour. They just want everybody to pay attention to them. But you'll see that like your intuition will start to trigger. Some of you already experienced that trigger even more. Basically, you're seeing more of the fourth dimension here. That's what you're here to do. Yes, it's hard. It's like you put up with all the hardships. Eventually, your crown chakra will open up, but you'll be able to handle it. That's the point. Some of you can open up sooner, but it's too much sometimes. So you slowly evolve it because it can be. It's like turning into channel, and you're going from like a slow reality. All of a sudden, you're going 100 miles an hour. There's only so much of that you can handle. So you're going about it easy. But what many of you are building here also is a maturity level. Some souls people that can see beings, but they still have a lot of maturity to work on. So many of you have maturity, you're just here to open up your chakras. You've been through wars, you've been through family, you've been through everything. And so now you're here to slowly unlock yourself to what's here to fit you and others.